Welcome to Tell Me More Stories Told Us podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving headfirst, really exploring the captivating life of Matthew Perry. You absolutely know him as, well, the master of the zinger, Chandler Bing from Friends. But his story, wow, it's such a roller coaster. Fame, these unexpected turns, and a really courageous fight that I think we need to explore.
That's absolutely right. We've sort of gathered a rich collection of moments from his whole journey, from his childhood right through to his legacy. And it really reveals a man far more complex, far more compelling than just that iconic character he played.
Okay, so let's picture this then. 1969, Matthew Perry enters the world. And right off the bat, he's holding both American and Canadian passports.
Yeah, quite the start.
We're talking about a global star.
Yeah.
And his parents, it sounds like something straight out of a movie script.
Doesn't it just?
His mom, a Canadian journalist who was press secretary to Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Can you imagine the dinner table conversations?
Right. Incredible access.
And his dad, an American actor and a former model. It's almost like the stage was set for a life in the spotlight right from day one, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And, the early separation of his parents when he was just about one, and then his mother's subsequent marriage to the broadcast journalist Keith Morrison, well, it meant his formative years were mostly spent up in Ottawa.
Right, Ottawa.
And these early family dynamics, that transatlantic upbringing, it likely shaped his worldview in ways we can probably only imagine now.
And get this, even before Hollywood was really on the radar, there were these hints of the dedication that would kind of define him later. In Ottawa, young Matthew wasn't just, a regular kid. Apparently, he was a highly ranked junior tennis player in Canada.
Yeah, I read that too. Really serious about it.
Putting in relentless hours on the court. That kind of discipline, that drive to excel, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If that same intensity maybe fueled his later pursuit of acting, even when things got incredibly challenging.
That's a fascinating point, actually. That early commitment to tennis, it really does speak volumes about his capacity for focus and perseverance.
Yeah.
It suggests that when he set his mind on something, he really pursued it with real vigor. And that's a trait that probably carried over into his acting career. Definitely.
Now, you have to hold on to your hats for this one. Apparently, during his time in Ottawa, a young Matthew Perry actually got into a physical altercation.
Oh, this story.
With none other than the future Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
It's kind of unbelievable, isn't it?
Can you just picture that schoolyard scrap? It's a detail that completely flips the script on the image we might have of his childhood.
Yeah.
Adds this layer of unexpected, let's just call it feistiness.
It's an extraordinary anecdote, really. It offers this glimpse into maybe a more assertive side of his youth, perhaps. A little spark of rebellion that's quite surprising, especially given the often sort of self-deprecating persona he later adopted as Chandler. It just reminds us that everyone's story has these completely unexpected chapters, doesn't it?
For sure. So, fast forward then. He's 15, and the bright lights of Los Angeles start calling.
The big move.
He takes that leap, and we start seeing the early building blocks of his acting career. Small roles in the late 70s, guest appearances scattered through the 80s.
Right, paying his dues.
He even lands a main role in a series called Second Chance, which later became Boys Will Be Boys. It's that classic Hollywood hustle, isn't it? Years of groundwork just being laid down.
Exactly. And those early roles were so crucial, weren't they, for honing his craft, building those industry connections, and just navigating the often challenging world of acting.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to his persistence that he kept working, kept gaining experience, even way before his major breakthrough. And actually, there's an interesting, maybe slightly dark note there. He also appeared in Growing Pains.
Oh, I remember him in that.
Yeah, and he played a character who tragically died in a drunk driving accident, which is, it's a truly unsettling foreshadowing of the struggles he would later face himself.
Wow, that's eerie. So the 90s arrive, bringing more sitcom opportunities. Things like Sydney and Home Free.
All right, more credits under his belt.
But then 1994 happens.
Yeah.
And the universe, it seems, throws him this massive curveball. He was initially committed to some sci-fi sitcom pilot.
Yeah, LAX 2194, I think it was called.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it ultimately didn't get picked up. Can you imagine how different things might have turned out?
It's wild to think about.
Because that cancellation paved the way for him to audition for this little show called 6 of 1, which, of course, became the global phenomenon, Friends.
It's genuinely one of those sliding doors moments, isn't it? It makes you really wonder about, fate and just the sheer randomness sometimes of the entertainment industry. Landing the role of Chandler Bing at just 24, I mean, that was a monumental shift. It just launched him into international stardom and pretty much defined a huge chapter of his life.
In Friends, I mean, it wasn't just a hit show, was it? It was a cultural supernova.
Oh, absolutely. Dominated the decade.
By 2002, he and the rest of the main cast were commanding an astounding $1 million per episode each.
Unbelievable figures. Just incredible leverage they had by then.
He even got an Emmy nomination for his unforgettable portrayal of Chandler. And during this absolute whirlwind, he's also starring in hit movies like Fools Rush In and the whole 9 yards.
You're right, crocking over into film successfully, too.
He was basically everywhere. Oh, and here's another one of those fascinating little tidbits for you.
Go on.
In 1995, he and Jennifer Aniston actually appeared in a promotional instruction video for Microsoft's Windows 95.
No way. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. Talk about two massive cultural icons plugging, the future of personal computing back then.
That Windows 95 video, it's actually a perfect illustration of the cast's immense cultural influence at that specific moment in time.
Definitely.
It really underscores how deeply ingrained they were in the zeitgeist. And that $1 million per episode figure, wow, it just highlights the unprecedented success of the show and their sheer value as performers.
But, and it's a significant but, isn't it? Behind all the laughter, behind the fame, a very different, very private battle was raging.
Yeah, this is the tough part of the story.
He was privately grappling with a severe addiction to drugs and alcohol. He later spoke with such incredible honesty about how this affected his time on Friends, even admitting, quite shockingly, to not remembering filming several whole seasons.
Yeah, that was a powerful admission.
It's just such a stark and sobering contrast to the witty, the seemingly ever-present Chandler that we all adored on screen.
His courage in speaking so openly about his addiction, especially while Friends was still huge, is incredibly significant. I mean, it really shattered that illusion that fame and fortune automatically equal happiness.
Right.
And it highlighted just how pervasive substance use disorders can be, regardless of external achievements or how successful someone seems.
Absolutely.
And despite these immense personal challenges, somehow he continued to deliver those iconic performances. Which is really a testament to his professionalism, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
He even received Emmy nominations for his guest roles on The West Wing during this period, which really showcased his talent beyond just comedy.
And it wasn't only Friends, was it? He made memorable appearances in shows like Ally McBeal, and he even stepped behind the camera. He directed an episode of Scrubs that actually featured his own father.
Yeah, that's right, John Bennett Perry.
It speaks to, I don't know, a deep connection to his craft, maybe, and a desire to explore different facets of storytelling, even when he was facing such intense personal turmoil.
That's a good way to put it. His continued engagement with acting and even moving into directing, despite his struggles, it really underscores his passion for the work itself.
Yeah.
And directing his father must have been a particularly meaningful experience for him, a real blending of his personal and professional worlds.
As the 2000s unfolded, we started to see Matthew Perry take on a really diverse range of roles, moving beyond Chandler.
Yeah, a conscious effort, it seemed.
The Ron Clark Story, that TV movie, earned him serious critical acclaim, Golden Globes and Emmy nominations for that one, showcasing his dramatic chops.
That was a fantastic performance, really showed his range.
Then came Aaron Sorkin's Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, a very different kind of ensemble show, much more dramatic.
High expectations for that one.
And he even executive produced the film Numb, which suggests, a desire to have more creative control over projects. He was actively pushing beyond that comedic box he'd become so famous for.
That period really marked a clear effort on his part to diversify his career and challenge himself as an actor. The Ron Clark Story, especially, was such a powerful demonstration of his range, and it earned him really well-deserved recognition in the dramatic realm.
Definitely.
And his move into producing, that also indicated a growing desire to sort of shape the stories being told, not just act in them.
And here's something else you might not know, or maybe remember. He even ventured into the world of theater, in London, no less. Starring in David Mannett's Sexual Perversity in Chicago. Stepping onto the stage, that's a whole different beast for an actor, isn't it? Demands this raw vulnerability, a direct connection with the live audience.
Absolutely. Theater requires a completely different kind of discipline and presence. And tackling a David Mamet play, especially in London's West End, That speaks to a real desire to stretch his artistic muscles
Yeah.
and engage with a different performance medium. It further showcased his adaptability as an actor.
Now, do you remember that appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show where he sort of randomly gifted her an Xbox 360 game?
Yeah. Vaguely. Yeah, I think so. Why?
Well, that seemingly casual gesture actually led to him voicing the character Benny in the video game Fallout: New Vegas.
Get out. Really? From giving her a game?
Yeah. Talk about an unexpected career detour. It just shows how you never really know where a seemingly small moment or connection might lead, right?
That's a fantastic example of just how unpredictable the entertainment industry can be. A simple act of generosity on a talk show opens up this completely new creative avenue for him. It really highlights this sort of interconnectedness of the entertainment world and the surprising opportunities that can just pop up.
So true. Okay, if you're finding this exploration into Matthew Perry's fascinating life as compelling as we are, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Tell Me More. That way you won't miss any of our upcoming deep dives into other incredible stories.
Definitely subscribe. We've got lots more coming up.
So, back to Matthew. He continued to be a real force on television through the 2010s as well. He created and starred in shows like Mr. Sunshine and Go On.
Trying his hand at creating his own vehicles.
Took on recurring roles in acclaimed dramas like The Good Wife and its spin-off, The Good Fight.
Yeah, great shows. He fit in well there.
And he even portrayed Ted Kennedy in the miniseries The Kennedys after Camelot. He was constantly working, constantly evolving his craft, it seems.
His continued presence on television, yeah, both in comedic and dramatic roles, it really underscores his enduring passion for acting. And taking on the role of a significant historical figure like Ted Kennedy also demonstrated his willingness to tackle more complex, more serious characters.
And then in 2016, he added another really significant accomplishment to his resume: playwriting.
Oh, right, The End of Longing.
Exactly. It premiered in London, then later had an off-Broadway run in New York. He was now telling his own stories, offering a more direct, more personal form of expression through his writing.
Venturing into playwriting is a really significant step for an actor, isn't it? It offers that greater level of creative control and the opportunity to explore themes and characters completely on his own terms. The End of Longing provided a whole new platform for him to connect with audiences and share his unique perspective.
But alongside all this creative output throughout his adult life, Matthew Perry faced just immense health challenges, and they were directly linked to his addictions.
Yeah, the physical toll was enormous.
He endured pancreatitis, a life-threatening gastrointestinal perforation that resulted in 2 weeks in a coma and then months needing a colostomy bag.
Just horrific health scares. It's amazing he survived them, frankly.
He was remarkably candid, especially later on, about the staggering financial and personal toll of his recovery efforts. He estimated spending millions on trying to get sober. It's just such a stark and heartbreaking reminder of the sheer grip of addiction.
His openness about these severe health crises is incredibly brave, I think. And it serves as such a powerful testament to the destructive nature of addiction. The fact that he survived such critical illnesses, well, it underscores both the severity of his struggles and also a certain resilience, even as he continued his battle.
But here's where his story takes this incredibly inspiring turn, I feel.
Yeah, the advocacy work.
Despite his own ongoing battles, he became this truly dedicated and tireless advocate for other people facing similar challenges. He lobbied the U.S. Congress for funding for drug courts. He received special recognition from the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. He established a sober living facility named Perry House in Malibu.
Right, turning his own experience into something positive for others.
And he even launched a Friends-inspired clothing line during the pandemic to benefit COVID-19 relief efforts. He really channeled his pain into purpose, it seems, his struggle into support for others.
His transition into advocacy is truly remarkable, especially considering the immense personal challenges he was still facing. He dedicated his time, his platform, his resources to helping others struggling with addiction. His work with drug courts and the establishment of Perry House, they represent a really profound commitment to making a tangible difference in the lives of others. It's incredibly admirable.
In his final years, we were gifted with the Friends, the reunion special, which was such a nostalgic balm for so many fans around the world.
Yeah, that was a huge cultural moment, wasn't it? Seeing them all back together.
And then came his deeply personal memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, which unsurprisingly became a bestseller. It offered this unflinchingly honest account of his entire journey, completely in his own voice.
The Friends reunion, yeah, it provided that sense of closure and nostalgia for millions of viewers. But his memoir, that was something else entirely. It was such a powerful and courageous act of vulnerability, offering profound insights into his experiences, his addiction, his recovery. It resonated so deeply with so many readers.
Tragically, Matthew Perry passed away in October 2023. He was only 54 years old.
Just devastatingly young. Such a shock.
The official cause of death was determined to be the acute effects of ketamine, with contributing factors listed as buprenorphine, drowning, and coronary artery disease.
A complex picture medically.
His funeral was attended by his friend's co-stars, naturally, and the poignant song Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush, a song he apparently cherished, was played.
A fitting tribute, perhaps.
Following his death, the Matthew Perry Foundation was established to continue his vital work in supporting individuals battling the disease of addiction.
Carrying on his advocacy legacy, which is important.
And in a very recent and somber development, investigations into the circumstances surrounding his death have led to charges being filed against several individuals
Yeah, I saw that news.
for their alleged involvement in providing him with the ketamine. It's just a truly heartbreaking end to a life that genuinely touched so many millions around the world.
The details surrounding his passing are deeply saddening, aren't they? And they just underscore the ongoing complexities and, unfortunately, the tragic consequences of addiction. The establishment of the Matthew Perry Foundation is such a vital step in ensuring that his legacy includes continued support for those who are in need. And these recent legal developments, well, they highlight the gravity of the circumstances surrounding his death. It's all very tragic.
Matthew Perry's life story. It's such a powerful tapestry, isn't it? Incredible highs, these profound lows. It's a stark reminder, I think, that even those who bring so much joy into the world can be grappling with immense personal struggles behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
His journey as Chandler Bing, which we all loved, contrasted so sharply with his courageous lifelong battle with addiction and then his later advocacy. It really offers us valuable insights into, well, the human condition itself.
It does indeed. His life serves as such a poignant example of the complexities of human experience, the persistent, insidious challenges of addiction, and the impact that vulnerability can have when someone shares their story. His willingness to share his story, both the triumphs and the tribulations, has undoubtedly resonated with and perhaps even helped countless individuals facing their own struggles.
And thinking back to those quirky details, that unexpected schoolyard dust-up with a future prime minister.
Right? So still can't quite picture
That surprising leap into the world of video game voice acting. His life was just full of these unexpected twists and turns. And his ultimate dedication in the end to helping others in their recovery. It really speaks volumes about his character, I think, and his enduring spirit despite everything.
Those unique moments, they really do add layers of richness and complexity to his narrative, don't they? And his later commitment to advocacy, yeah, it demonstrates a profound desire to use his own difficult experiences to make a genuinely positive impact on the lives of others, which is a truly admirable quality.
Ultimately, the story of Matthew Perry invites us, I think, to reflect on the multifaceted nature of human experience, the pervasive challenges of addiction in our society, and maybe the profound power of empathy and understanding. It leaves us contemplating those private battles that may lie just beneath the public personas we see and admire. How do we reconcile those two things?
That's the lingering question, isn't it? It's a call for greater empathy, perhaps, recognizing the humanity behind the celebrity.
Yeah, a lot to think about. Thank you for joining us on Tell Me More.